Dinky's Dark Side by Waterflame.
What have I done? What have you done?
I asked myself as I tried to remember what happened in the past few weeks. I looked around in my self-made shelter, thinking what to do next. Why did I have to do it? Why did this even happen? It's all so hazy, I still can't believe I did all this. It's like a nightmare. If it was only a nightmare, but it wasn't. I woke up that morning feeling a little bit strange. Nothing too much to worry about though. As I got downstairs, I found my mom making breakfast. I miss her, and I wonder what she's doing now. I ate my breakfast and went to school. It all seemed like a normal day. Mom was gone to work. I went to school like a good filly, played along like a good filly. At school, the other kids laughed and insulted my mother. Angry as I was, but no way to express it. I ran back home crying. Your mom is as dumb as a blind idiot, they said. They said many mean things about my mom and me. From that moment on, everything was about to get worse. That evening, I talked with my mom over what happened at school. I told her everything, every insult, everything they did to me, and my mom told me to stay calm whatever happened. I went back to my room. My mom tried to comfort me, but it didn't help much. The anger. I'm still afraid of it. What if I turned it to those I really love? The thought of that happening is unbearable, and I try to think of something else before I go to sleep in my hastily made shelter. I woke up the next morning. It is still dark, and every single thing I dreamt is fresh in my memory. All the horrors. I might never forget them anymore. 3 days have passed since I ran away from home. Hungry as I am, I hope they find me quick. I wish I knew more of nature and its edible fruits. Suddenly, the idea of going to Sakura's hut comes to mind, but I shake it off. Afraid Sakura might warn the official instances about my whereabouts. When I look around my shelter, I try and remember more of what happened. The next day, I went to school again. Mom told me to do so. I won't disappoint her by not listening. I probably never would disappoint her again. At school, lessons went as normal, it was, until the lunch break came. They were saying mean things again. This time, it wouldn't be as innocent as before. I felt the anger burning inside of me, hotter and hotter as they said more things about my mom. I tried to hold back my tears, and suddenly a burst of magic hits the ceiling and caused it to collapse on us. I go out into the Everview forest to find some food. It was a hard task. I remember what Mom always said. If it tastes bitter, it's poisonous. So I taste every single berry I find. I only find bitter berries, so it's hard to determine if it's really poisonous or not. I guess I'll eat them no matter what. I went back to my shelter and tried to remember more of what happened. I stood there, overlooking the destruction I just caused as Cheerly entered the room.
What happened here?
She asked as I ran outside and back home. I can still hear what she said, as if it was only a few seconds ago.
Dinky? Dinky! What did you do?
When I came home, Mom still wasn't back from work. I hid in my room, afraid of being arrested. What I did isn't taken lightly in Ponyville, and they will soon come for me. I cried and fell asleep. My stomach hurts as the evening falls. Seems those berries were poisonous after all. I cry, wishing Mom was here to take care of me, to hug me, to comfort me. I miss how she brings me a muffin and some hot milk whenever I was sick. I could use one right now. As the sun is lowering, more memories come back. Every single one of them makes it more clear that it wasn't a nightmare. Someone knocked on the door later that day. Doing as I always did, I walked down to the door and opened it. Twilight Sparkle stood in front of me.
Dinky, I need to talk to you.
Twilight began. I slammed the door shut and ran back to my room. I heard a blast, knowing Twilight would force her way in, especially after what I've done.
Dinky, you're in serious trouble now.
Twilight's voice was still and calm as ever, yet I heard the anger in her voice. I tried to hide under my bed, but her magic pulled me from under it.
Dinky, do you even realize what you have done?
Twilight asked me.
I'm so sorry.
Tears ran freely.
It wasn't meant to happen.
I cried.
They said so many mean things about me and Mom.
I explained, and Twilight nodded.
But why did you have to destroy half of the school?
Twilight asked as I cried some more.
I didn't want to do it. It all happened by accident.
I continued. The tears were drying out by now.
Dinky.
No, it's Twilight.
Twilight.
I've lost place. Such powerful magic isn't unheard of, Dinky. The princess might be on her way right now.
Twilight stared at me through my eyes, still wet from the tears. I saw a different Twilight than I used to know, determined to keep me here no matter what.
You'll probably be arrested for several crimes and might be brought in court.
Twilight explained.
Or even worse, banished without a trial.
Twilight continued, still staring at me.
If I were you, I would stay here nicely and await your fate.
Twilight was reading a spell to bind me in my room.
No!
Another surge of magic sprouted from my horn. Twilight responded with a shield spell, but it was too late. The spell got partially deflected. Twilight fell to the ground unconscious as I heard her friends outside. Twilight? What's happening? I heard Rainbow Dash and Applejack trotting up the stairs. Both appeared in my room as I was about ready to jump through the window. The memories fade again. I look outside and I see the moon is full now. Luna must have joined the search too, as the moon looks brighter than I can remember. My stomach still hurts and I can't sleep. I stare into the darkness as my stomach is protesting even more. I don't know when they will find me, or if the poison will kill me before they do. I prefer none of them, but it will happen sometime. I wait patiently for one of them to come. I try to sleep, knowing that my nightmares will be part of the night. I don't know when I passed out, but when I woke up, I was in Sakura's hut.
If or he would not have found you, you surely had passed with Killer's Blue.
Sakura said. She is brewing something, probably an antidote for the poison. I've been so stupid. I should have come to Sakura right away, but then I see him. A dark blue pony. His horn was glowing, probably a diagnosis spell. He seems so familiar, yet I can't find out where I've seen him before.
You're lucky I have found you, little one. Why in the world would you eat Killer's blueberries?
He said. He sounds angry too.
I was hungry and I had no food.
I murmured.
What's a little feel like you doing out in the woods anyway?
He asked, raising an eyebrow.
I did things I'm not proud of.
I say, trying to evade his stare.
What kind of things then?
He asked, keeping me in place with another spell. He sure wants to find out what I did.
No, I can't say it. It would take me to the princess and I'd be banished forever.
There are those tears again. Not a day since the beginning has passed without tears.
The princess? I don't have anything to say to Celestia. I'm not under her rule.
The pony laughed, scaring me even more than I ever thought that was possible.
I destroyed the school.
I say, ashamed because it's true.
That isn't something to joke about, kid. Anyway, my name is Jedemiah Strange Runner.
His voice still sounded calm, yet with a bit of worry in it.
I'm Dinky Hoops. Nice to meet you, if I should say that.
I stuttered. Jedemiah walked up to a rack and then took a small vial of it. It is filled with a yellow liquid. I see that he has a pair of wings under his jacket.
This will make you sleep for a while, as the antidote is very painful.
He says. I drank the yellow liquid and closed my eyes. I tried to remember even more of what happened. I landed in some bushes. I crawled out of them and ran off to the Everfree forest. I heard a cracking noise as Rainbow Dash also jumped out of the window and started to chase me. Stop it! You just don't hurt our friend like that and get away with it! Rainbow Dash was angry, determined to take revenge for what I did to Twilight. The voice told me to kill her, but I refused and kept running. Away from school, away from Twilight and Sparkle, away from everyone I knew. I soon reached the edge of the forest. Mom always told me to stay away from there. I ran into the forest and kept running until I couldn't run anymore. I curled up in a small ball and cried myself to sleep. The next day, I woke up. My stomach was growling. If I had more time to prepare, surely I would have taken some muffins with me, but there was no time, and I had no muffins at all. My eyes, still wet from the tears I shed the day before. Everything that happened, I have no control over it. As I conclude my story, I hear voices outside. They shout my name. I've got the urge to stand up and run outside. Something holds me from running outside, and I hear Jedemiah's whispering.
Be quiet. I'll handle this.
Jedemiah winked at me. I hide behind some of the masks in Zikora's hut.
Celestia, what are you doing here?
Jedemiah asked. He seems to be sure of his case as Celestia spoke.
I could ask you the same thing, strange runner.
Celestia said with a glare of anger.
That doesn't matter now. I ask you, where is Dinky?
Celestia's tone went down to whispers.
Should I know that?
Jedemiah raises an eyebrow.
Don't play games with me, strange runner. I see you are hiding something from me.
Celestia's voice raises again as he gets more angry.
Ah, I see. I still can't hide anything from my little sister. Only came here for some of Zikora's curans and antidotes.
Jedemiah's face twitched with a few times as I spoke.
Well, seems I can't get any more information out of you than lies,
Celestia said as she spread her wings, ready to lift off and search for me. Suddenly, her horn starts to glow and a magic blast emerges from it. Jedemiah erects his shield to counter it. The spell reflected back to Celestia and her guards, barely missing her in a splintering a tree.
Don't try me, Celestia. You know you can't win this.
Jedemiah shouts. I only see flashes of light and see Zikora's face twitching in fear. I stand up and walk outside.
Here I am, Celestia.
I stutter. I look straight into Celestia's eyes and continue.
You can banish me if you want. I know I did wrong. I know I deserve to be punished.
The tears start to run freely, but I can't run away anymore. Celestia looks at me. A shiver goes down my spine as I feel her glare burning on my coat.
You will not be banished. Instead, explain to me what happened, as that was no regular magic you used.
Celestia explains to me. I start telling everything that happened, from the first thing until now.
It was rage?
Celestia was astonished. Only the fact that a filly of Dinky's size could harness such magic. I sit down as I wait what Celestia has to say. More tears come rolling down my cheeks.
I'm sorry about what happened. I didn't mean to do it. It all happened too fast.
It feels like a massive burden falls off my shoulders. I tried to hold back my tears until now. I can't hold them back any longer, and a torrent of searing hot tears welled up from my eyes. Memories of the life before this came back, and any anger in me was dissipated. I wonder if this is Celestia's magic.
The other colts and fillies are all right. The doctors are taking care of them as we speak now, Dinky.
Celestia lays a hoof on my shoulder.
I brought some pony else with me. Someone who really misses you.
Celestia continues. I take a peek and see my mom standing there, her face wet and dirty from the tears.
Mom!
I shout as I run into her arms. I feel Celestia's magic engulfing both of us.
Dinky, I think you should look at your flank. It might be very important for you.
Celestia points at my flank where a cutie mark appeared. It's a heart-shaped thundercloud.
Now, let's return to Ponyville.
Celestia said. I nod and I hug Celestia.
Gediminas, do you want to accompany us?
Celestia asked the blue pony. He nods and together we fly back to Ponyville. As I sit on my mother's back, I think back and laugh. All those silly actions, just to protect those I really love. They've been so bad, and yet it has been handled with a smile and a nod. Why? Why did this even happen in the first place? All this because of a simple joke I would hear a lot more. That is, after all this is long forgotten. By then, I should be a lot older and more wiser, and probably more able to control the fire inside of me. We finally arrive in Ponyville. I hear a voice singing. It's Jedemiah's singing for the stars. I sit back and listen. Jedemiah's voice is as peaceful as the stars that are above us. I wonder, what if there is something beyond these stars? What if we are being watched by some pony else, high up there? I shrug and shake off the idea. I want to ask him if he's really Celestia's brother, but he's gone. I know someday I will meet him again. As the darkness reveals, every wound can be healed. As moonlight displays what they hide from your sight when your eyes are blinded by daylight. Song of the Stargazer. The end. And